Welcome to our special series, 31 Faces of Small Business in Dalby, proudly presented by the Dalby Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
And your local community radio station, 4DDD. Throughout May, we're celebrating the incredible small businesses that make our town unique.
Every day we shine a spotlight on a different entrepreneur whose dedication, innovation and community spirit help shape Dalby's vibrant local community.
From long-standing family businesses
to exciting new ventures, these stories inspire and connect us. Today, we're thrilled to introduce another one of Dalby's outstanding small business champions.
Hello, my name's Michael Kane. I'm from 4DDD, and my guest today is Nigel 𝐷𝐸, Assistant Manager at Dalby Tyres, a proud family-owned business. With decades of experience in the industry, Nigel is passionate about keeping locals safe on the road and offering reliable, down-to-earth service to the community. Nigel, welcome.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you with us today. Can you tell us a bit about how Dalby Tyres got started and what inspired you to be part of the business?
Dalby Tyres was started by a lovely couple named Paul and Christine Campbell. Originally owned Gundawindi Tyre Service for 15, 20 years.
Yep.
They had enough of Gundy, decided it was time for a change, picked Dalby as a prime location, and so happens to be Dalby Tyres. I got involved in Dalby Tyres. I had a meeting with Paul and Chris one night, realised that they were just great down-to-earth people. They would be fantastic bosses to work for.
Great.
And here I am today.
Fantastic. And so what's your background story? Have you always worked in tyres? And is there a moment that shaped your approach to managing a local business?
I haven't always been in tyres. I've been doing it now for about 16 years, but prior to that, had a few various roles. Moved to Nanango just after I turned 18, worked in my auntie's news agency for a couple of years, then got into shed building before getting a job over in Dalby at Bushman Tanks, where I was for a couple of years as well. From there, went to working with a local business doing some aircon, and then, started with, back then it was Bridgestone. Doing tyres. Before I got into it full-time, I'd done a little bit down at Murray's Tyres and More just with my brother. He sort of taught me how to change car tyres and that, and just went from there.
Is there anything that sort of shaped how you manage the management side of it?
I wouldn't say there's anything in particular that shaped the way to manage. I sort of just come through starting at base level like everyone else does, worked my way up, hard work, dedication. Obviously, you just throw yourself in the deep end every now and then and get out of your comfort zone. Customer service wasn't always a strong point for me.
Yep.
Always been a bit shy. Really grown out of that in the last couple of years. But
Great. Yeah. That's good. So what are some of the biggest challenges in your line of work, and how do you and your team tackle those challenges?
I'll go from two different point of views. So as assistant manager, the biggest challenge would be finding the right balance between leadership and support for the staff.
Yep.
Me personally, I have a really good relationship with all the boys at work and outside of work, which makes it a little bit hard to sort of be, I wouldn't say a boss, but more of a leader. So we've sort of got that personal respect, as well as that professional respect.
And do you reckon that managing a business in a small town is easier or more difficult than in, say, a large city?
I would say it's more difficult, especially in our industry. Like, we've got 4 other shops we're competing against. Tyre game is a very competitive market at the moment, and everyone is after the best price. Obviously, there's a lot of online stuff as well that you have to try and compete with. So,
the online stuff sort of made a big impact.
It has, yeah.
So customer service is a big part of what you do. Why is that so important to you personally and professionally?
Personally, I like to treat people the way I want to be treated. That could be just in your tone. So if you come across with a nice, gentle tone, you're respectful, you're polite. Obviously, if you're loud, comes across as angry. So you don't want to be treated like that.
True.
Professionally, well, just people do business with people, basically. Same sort of thing.
It's very much your approach to people, isn't it?
That's right.
Treat them the way you want to be treated.
That's right. Yeah. And customer service, if you can get good reviews, word of mouth goes a long way, especially in a small community. One bad comment can, potentially break.
Particularly, as you said, in a very competitive industry like yours.
Yeah.
So how important is it for you, Nigel, to work with and support other local businesses here in Dalby?
It's important to work with local businesses in Dalby to help our community grow as such. Dalby is such a great little town, has so much to offer, especially the wide diversity of business we have, agriculture. You've got all the arrow sites. So to get that to grow, expand our community, potentially could bring more jobs to the town. Now that Labor government's in, they could get approved to start stage 3 of the wind farm.
Oh, yep.
So that would really boost our economy.
Nigel, who's been a big influence or mentor in your business journey?
I'm going to give it to 3 people. So in the last 5 years, definitely Paul and Chris, so the owners of Dalby Tyres. They've really helped me improve. I've learnt so much from them from starting at Dalby Tyres.
Yep.
Just with the business aspect of stuff, I essentially look up to Paul as being one of my key mentors now.
Yep.
And the other person would be my wife, Jane.
Yep.
So she drives me. There's been a few times where I've wanted to just get out, give up. But she's really pushed me, helped me get my head back in it and just push through.
Yeah, it's important to have that family connection.
I do work. So Jane, she works with me as well.
What do you love most about being part of the Dalby business community?
Just the community spirit, I think. There is a strong spirit in Dalby businesses.
Running a busy business can be demanding. How do you find balance between work and personal life?
So working with my wife and the whole personal life, I just have to make time for me. Whether that be taking my kids to the skate park of an afternoon or weekends or something like that, or I like to go out for a hit of golf, so I'll just go out for a hit. I do play sports with one of my sons Monday and Wednesday nights, so that sort of clears my head a bit.
You find that you need to reduce the amount of work time? Like sometimes we get so caught up in work that we focus purely on that and we forget about the personal side?
Yeah, the personal side. Yeah, 100%. And it is very hard to do that. I mean, obviously in a managerial role, you tend to go home and your brain's still ticking over from that day, so your brain's constantly thinking. You got to find something to push that aside.
Yep.
Just block work out and focus on family.
Which is quite often easier said than done, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Finally, Nigel, for anyone thinking about starting a small business in Dalby, what's one piece of advice you'd give them?
Have plenty of patience. So there is a lot of industry in this town. It is such a tight-knit community. You don't want to be making too many enemies. And so you don't want to try and take over someone else's business.
Yep. Okay, thanks so much for joining us today, Nigel, and sharing the story behind Dalby Tyres. It's been fantastic hearing how you've helped build a trusted, community-focused business that keeps Dalby moving. Thanks very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us for 31 Faces of Small Business in Dalby, proudly brought to you by the Dalby Chamber of Commerce and Industry.